As April 2nd begins, millions of Social Security recipients are walking into a three-part surprise that could change what lands in their bank account this month, when it arrives, and whether they are missing money they did not even realize they were owed. The first surprise is that SSI already moved at the very start of the month. The second is that SSDI and retirement payments are about to follow on a staggered April schedule that confuses people every single year. And the third surprise is the one almost nobody explains clearly, because it is not for everyone, but for the people who qualify. It can mean a bigger monthly deposit and even a retroactive payment tied to a major rule change. If you receive SSI, SSDI, retirement, survivor, or spousal benefits, you need to stay with me, because one small misunderstanding about April's schedule can make people think their payment was delayed when it was actually right on time. SSA COLA Fact Sheet SSA Payment Calendar. But here is the hidden detail that makes this update so important. The triple surprise is not just about one check. It is about three different groups of beneficiaries seeing three different kinds of movement almost back to back, and that is exactly why so many seniors, retirees, and disabled Americans start calling family, calling the bank, or worrying that something went wrong. On top of that, the Social Security Administration says many people affected by the Social Security Fairness Act should have received retroactive payments by the end of March, and the new monthly amount begins with the April payment. That means early April is one of those rare moments when your normal schedule and a possible benefit increase can overlap in a way that feels confusing unless you know what to look for. And later in this video, I am going to reveal the one group that may think they are owed this extra boost when they actually are not, because that misunderstanding is causing a lot of false hope right now. SSA Newsletter SSA Fairness Act Update. Let's start with surprise number one, because this one affects the people who depend on SSI and need to know the exact amount. In 2026, the maximum federal SSI payment is $994 a month for an individual and $1,491 for an eligible couple after the 2.8% COLA increase. So if you receive SSI and your payment is the full federal amount, that is the number many people are watching for right now. And for April 2026, SSI is scheduled for Tuesday, April 1st, because SSI normally goes out on the 1st of the month. That means by April 2nd, many SSI recipients should already have seen that payment pending or deposited, depending on their bank. But wait, here is something many seniors miss. Not everybody gets the full $994 or $1,491. SSI can be lower if you have other income, if someone helps with your food or housing, or if your living arrangement changes. So if your deposit is smaller than the maximum, that does not automatically mean SSA made a mistake. SSA COLA Fact Sheet SSA SSI Amount SSA Payment Calendar. Now look at surprise number two, because this is where SSDI and regular Social Security beneficiaries often get tripped up. If you started receiving Social Security before May 1997, or if you receive both Social Security and SSI, your Social Security payment is generally paid on the 3rd of the month. In April 2026, that lands on Friday, April 3rd. If your birth date falls from the 1st through the 10th, your payment is set for Wednesday, April 8th. If your birthday falls from the 11th through the 20th, the date is Wednesday, April 15th. And if your birthday falls from the 21st through the 31st, the date is Wednesday, April 22nd. That means on April 2nd, a lot of people will still be waiting even though nothing is wrong. This is one of the biggest reasons panic spreads online. Someone sees another person say, "My money came already," and suddenly assumes theirs is late. But the truth is simple. April payments are split by benefit type and by birth date, and being paid later in the month does not mean you were skipped. SSA Payment Calendar AARP payment schedule. Here is where the numbers add even more context. After the 2.8% COLA for 2026, SSA estimates the average monthly retired worker benefit at $2,071, up from $2,015. The average benefit for all disabled workers is estimated at $1,630, up from $1,586. Those are averages, not guaranteed personal amounts, but they matter because they help people understand whether their deposit is generally in the expected range this year. So, if you were on SSDI and you saw your 2026 increase earlier in the year, April is not a brand new COLA month. April is about following the normal payment calendar and checking whether your exact deposit lines up with your category. But wait, there is another detail many retirees overlook. If your scheduled payment date falls on a weekend or federal holiday, the payment is sent on the preceding business day. That is why dates can shift in some months and cause confusion. April 2026 is more straightforward, but the rule still matters if you compare one month to another and think something changed. SSA COLA Fact Sheet AARP payment schedule. Now, let's talk about the third surprise, because this is the one that sounds the biggest and also causes the most misunderstanding. The Social Security Administration says it began paying retroactive benefits and increasing monthly payments to people whose benefits were affected by the windfall elimination provision, known as WP, and the government pension offset, known as GPO. These rules had reduced or even eliminated benefits for more than 3.2 million people who receive a pension based on work not covered by Social Security. Think of some teachers, firefighters, police officers, certain federal employees under the civil service retirement system, and some people who worked under a foreign Social Security system. SSA said many beneficiaries would be due a one-time retroactive payment because the offset no longer applies as of January 2024, that most people would receive that retroactive payment by the end of March, and that the new monthly payment amount would begin with the April payment. That is a very big deal, but only for the people actually affected by WP or GPO. SSA Newsletter SSA Fairness Act Update. Now I'm going to show you the most important detail in this entire update, the one that can change how much you receive this month. If you are hearing about an extra boost and expecting a surprise deposit, ask yourself one question. Were your benefits ever reduced because of a non-covered government pension? If the answer is no, then this third surprise probably does not apply to you. And that is where the majority of people make a mistake. They hear extra benefit boost and think every retiree, every SSI recipient, and every SSDI beneficiary is about to get another across-the-board increase in April. That is not what SSA said. The 2.8% COLA already shaped 2026 benefit levels. The additional boost tied to the Fairness Act is targeted, not universal. So if you are a regular retiree with no WP or GPO reduction, your April change is more likely to be about schedule timing, not a second new increase. But if you are one of the people penalized by those old rules, then April could be the first month you actually see the higher ongoing payment amount. SSA COLA Fact Sheet SSA Newsletter. But wait, here is something else many families are overlooking, especially adult children helping their parents manage benefits. If the retroactive payment was supposed to arrive by the end of March for many eligible people, some households may check the account on April 2nd and still not be sure what they are looking at. Was that deposit the regular monthly benefit, or was it the retroactive Fairness Act payment, or both at different times? That is why it is so important to review the deposit date and amount carefully before assuming one replaced the other. Retroactive money is a one-time payment. The higher monthly amount is a separate change that begins with the April payment. Those are two different things. For some people, that means late March brought one deposit and April brings a larger regular benefit. For others, April may be the first clear sign that the monthly amount has changed. And if your address or direct deposit information changed recently, SSA says you should make sure your information is current through your My Social Security account, because outdated banking details can create even more confusion. SSA Newsletter SSA Fairness Act Update here is another mini payoff that can save people a lot of stress this week. If your money does not show up exactly when expected, do not jump straight to the conclusion that Social Security failed. AARP notes, based on SSA guidance, that if you do not receive your benefit on time, the first step is to check with your bank or financial institution, because sometimes the payment was sent but has not posted yet on the bank side. This matters a lot for seniors using direct deposit and for those who rely on family members to check the account. Also remember that almost all benefits are paid electronically now, either by direct deposit or direct express. So by April 2nd, one household may see a pending deposit while another sees nothing yet simply because their scheduled date is later or their bank posts at a different time. That difference can create fear, but it is not proof of a problem. This is especially important for Hispanic seniors and retirees in multi-generational families, where one person's payment often helps cover groceries, rent, medicine, and utilities for the whole household. AARP payment schedule now lets bring all three surprises together in the clearest way possible. Surprise number one: SSI recipients are looking at up to $994 for individuals and $1,491 for couples in 2026, and the April SSI payment is set for April 1st. So by April 2nd, many should already have it. Surprise number two: SSDI and regular Social Security recipients are on the April 3rd, April 8th, April 15th, or April 22nd schedule, depending on when they started benefits and their birth date. So not seeing money on April 2nd may be completely normal. Surprise number three: some people affected by WP or GPO may see a real extra benefit boost connected to the Social Security Fairness Act, including retroactive money that SSA said many people should receive by the end of March and a higher monthly amount beginning with the April payment. This is why the title says triple surprise, because three different stories are happening almost at the same time, and people keep mixing them together. SSA Payment Calendar, SSA COLA Fact Sheet, SSA Newsletter, and here comes the biggest payoff of all. The most important clarification is not just who gets paid, but who should expect more. If you are on SSI only, your main April issue is the amount and the April 1st timing. If you are on SSDI or retirement, your main issue is matching your birthday or benefit category to the correct April payment date. But if you had a benefit reduced by WP or GPO, then early April may be one of the first times in years that your monthly Social Security amount finally reflects the end of those reductions. That is the true extra benefit boost part of this story. It is not a mystery bonus for everybody. It is a targeted correction that could be life-changing for the people who were affected. And that is why so many viewers feel confused when they hear only half of the headline. The same phrase can mean a routine monthly deposit for one person, a schedule misunderstanding for another, and a genuine increase for someone else. SSA Fairness Act Update SSA Newsletter, so before you worry, before you assume your payment is missing, and before you believe every rumor spreading online, check these 3 points in order. First, what benefit do you receive? SSI, SSDI, retirement, survivor, or a combination? Second, what is your actual April payment date based on SSA's schedule? And third, were you ever affected by WP or GPO, which is the only reason this extra boost may apply to you beyond your normal 2026 benefit level? If you answer those 3 questions, most of the confusion disappears. And here is the replay loop that matters. The clue to understanding your April money is hidden in the very first surprise, because once you know whether your case starts with SSI timing, regular Social Security timing, or Fairness Act eligibility, the rest of the month suddenly makes sense. If you want to verify whether these changes affect your exact Social Security payment this month, go back to the beginning and listen again to that first point, because that is the part many people miss the first time. Write SSI 2026 in the comments if you receive Social Security or SSI and want more updates like this.